to That's One of My Favorites podcast, season 2, episode 1. For those of you who don't remember, I am one of your hosts, Samara.
And I'm Emily.
And we are here to discuss our favorite movie, musicals, and beyond. We have also called it Life Happens Podcast, and that is for sure. We've heard this spiel before, but like highlights, pregnancy, jobs, all of it. I'm currently a couple months pregnant with a little boy. Emily got a wonderful new job that she is just rocking out right now. So, life definitely does happen. But we were like, you know what? We got to get back to it. We are starting with one of your favorites, Funny Girl.
Funny Girl with Barbra Streisand.
Barbra Streisand. Yes. The 1968 musical movie based on the 1964 Broadway musical, which was based on a real life person.
It was. She was a real Ziegfeld girl.
A real Ziegfeld girl. And her entrepreneur and gambler husband also, Nicky Arnstein. So that was a fun fact that I found out. I did not know that at all, that she was a real person.
I didn't either.
Until, literally 2 days ago. So to jump right in, why in the world are we existing in a world, or did we exist in a world, where Barbra Streisand was just not considered so gorgeous?
Right? I mean, every time, and the first time I saw this movie, I'm like, why does she consider herself ugly?
But
I don't get it.
This is like the 14th movie that we've watched. I mean, we've only watched like 2 or 3 of her movies. But like, I feel like every plot of the movie that I've watched her in has been, I'm hideous. Ha! And it's like, where?
I've never understood that. I've never understood that.
No. She is stunning through this entire movie.
The makeup's on point. The costumes are on point. I mean, half of her style that was in this movie became iconic.
Her hair, particularly after she gets the mom chop, which, like, I'm jumping ahead.
The bouffant hairdo all the time. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sick and tired. I hope that we get to a movie where she just is pretty and she knows it. Because it's not fair that she lived in a world where that was how she had to be portrayed.
I agree.
Because gorgeous.
Agree. 100%.
So, why is this one of your favorite movies, if you can just give us a little sprinkle?
It's a mixture of romance and comedy, first and foremost. The songs are all bops. Like, I don't think I'd skip one. Maybe one. But when I was younger, one of my favorite parts, and to this day is, and I'll jump ahead a little bit, is the swan part.
Yes.
I don't know why. It cracks me up every time. And it's on, when you listen to, like, the, just a recording of it, that's the first thing. Like, I just want to listen to the swan song, because it cracks me up. It makes me happy. It's nostalgic. I watched it with my mom growing up. Yeah, I just think it's a good hit. You know, it makes you feel good. Yeah.
I had not grown up on this movie. I think I know I've watched it. I know when I started watching it again, I was like, ooh, familiar. But I think I've literally only watched it once. And I think when I watched it, I didn't appreciate it for what it was. Like, I didn't sit down and give this movie its full attention. I was just like, oh, cool, sure, whatever.
Barbra Streisand's on the screen, it's whatever.
Right. I like this movie a lot. It's super fun. Really emotional, which was completely unexpected. Mm-hmm. Did not realize that at all. It became the highest grossing film in 1968 in the United States, receiving 8 Academy Awards. And Barbra Streisand won for Best Actress.
This was her breakout role, too.
I
Before
don't
this, she was just a Broadway star.
I don't think I knew that.
Mm-hmm. This, like, put her on the map for movies.
Mm-hmm.
So this was her breakout role. Because she played Fanny Bryce on Broadway.
Oh, okay.
So the producer and the director were like, there's nobody else that can play Fanny other than Barbra Streisand.
Now, did she open as Fanny or no?
That I'm not positive about. I'd have to do some extra research. But she did play Fanny on Broadway and was the only person that they wanted to play Fanny in the movie.
I couldn't imagine anyone else. And, like, they just recently did the revival. Yeah, she opened.
Okay. So she's the original Fanny on Broadway.
Uh-huh. From what I can see, she opened with Sidney Chaplin, 1964.
Yeah, they did the revival, and there was a few Fannies, and then Lea Michele played Fanny, too.
Yeah, so they started the 2022 revival with Beanie Feinstein as Franny, and they revised the book a little bit, just to, I guess, maybe tweak and fine-tune. I'm not really sure what the differences are 100%. But they opened with Beanie Feinstein, much to a lot of people's chagrin. And I remember there was a lot of conflict or controversy over her costuming because she was a bigger girl and kind of the way that they played things and everything like that. But from what I saw, she did really good. Obviously, Lea Michele. I mean,
Killed it.
I was gonna say, we all know you don't have to watch Glee or anything to know that she wanted this role.
For sure.
Completely. So, I mean, good for her.
And I've listened to the revival's soundtrack, and she does a great job because they did it with Lea Michele.
That's kind of sad. They opened with Beanie, but they were like, we're gonna not, no. Okay.
I think she left just before, like, they decided to do it.
She left pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
She left pretty quickly.
And I don't know the circumstances behind that, so.
I mean, I don't think everybody truly knows the circumstances, but I know the whisper.
Yeah.
The word on street.
Did you know that Frank Sinatra was they originally wanted to cast Frank Sinatra for Nicky Arnstein?
I don't think Frank Sinatra is, I don't want to say gross enough.
He definitely needs to be sleazy.
Yeah, sleazy is a good word.
Sleazy.
I don't think Frank Sinatra can look sleazy. Mr. Omar, who plays Nicky, Omar Sharif.
Your guess is as good as mine.
I had to find out if this was Raul Julia's dad from Addams Family. I am completely sold in on the Hollywood has clones or eggs and other things that you combine to make, because that man is the same man.
I didn't know that he was Egyptian.
I did not know he was Egyptian either. He was the first Egyptian and Arab to conquer Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was interesting.
He did 100 films spanning 50 years and got 3 Golden Globes for it.
Mm-hmm.
His breakout role was in Lawrence of Arabia. And he then went on to kind of portray a lot of ethnic characters, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
He played lots of characters in like Genghis Khan and things like that. He doesn't sound Egyptian. He almost, like, they made him have a Hispanic accent or a Spanish accent.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't Egyptian, but it wasn't American either.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did that because he wanted more roles, or honestly, I don't really know what Egyptians sound like.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe he does.
I guess it depends on like where you grew up, because I know a lot of British people spent time in like Egypt and India and places like that during those times. So
that's true. He He was in a lot of different. He was in American productions, Italian productions, French productions, all this stuff. I'm super interested in him. Loved him. He made me love and hate, and also like be wary of him. Like he was just phenomenal.
Yeah, he
Barbara's
did good.
phenomenal. They're really kind of the only two characters through the whole movie.
That you really
So,
get to know, yeah.
yeah. Um. So it starts out with Fanny awaiting for her husband at the theater. And then and like again, having not seen this movie, I'm like, okay, she's at the theater, and she's really mad.
Yeah.
At one point, she like pretends to murder the entire audience. Like, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And then we go into the flashback of kind of what happens. She starts out. She's in her teens when we begin the movie, I guess. It doesn't say about what age she is, though.
No.
But her outfits definitely portray a teeny bopper.
Yeah.
Like, maybe 19?
So she's young from the Lower East Side with dreams of becoming a Broadway star.
Yeah, so she lives on the Jewish side of town in a massive... I mean, when she gets a telegram and they all are like, oh no, someone in your family has died on the street. I mean, like, it was crazy.
Reminds me of the scene when the Wells Fargo wagon comes to the town in the music van. Yeah.
Definitely that. And so, and also, like, while she's, like, before she has a flashback, she's like, Mr. Kosh was wrong. And it flashes back, and Mr. Kosh has been there the whole time. And I'm like, girl, what a hater. Like, why is she here? Like, that was my first thought, was like, get out here, Mr. Kosh. Like, we don't have time for haters, you know? But she's going to go be on the vaudeville stage, and she gets hired by this guy named Eddie. I shipped Fanny and Eddie from the get-go.
Her best friend.
Her bestie. I get it. I get that it's her bestie, but like, even after we saw Nick, I was like, no. No, he's
Did you
creepy.
know that there's a sequel called Funny Lady? I have not seen it, but I saw in the trailer that her bestie is in the second one. I need to look up the Funny Lady.
Are you sure?
I promise you.
I am not seeing anything about it at all.
Funny Lady. In the sequel to Funny Girl, Fanny Bryce, Barbra Streisand, is now a huge Broadway star whose fortunes have taken a hit from the Great Depression. A whirlwind romance, Fanny marries Billy Rose.
What in the world?
And the two agree to collaborate on a show. Despite the show's early struggles, Fanny makes it a success, but suddenly fame puts a strain on her marriage. Go figure. Especially when Billy learns she still has feelings for her ex-husband, Nick.
It's basically the same movie. Okay.
I've never seen it, but I learned when I was doing research that there was a sequel.
Omar is there. He's back.
Yeah. Apparently she still has
David
feelings
Clark.
for her.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. Anyway.
I might have to watch it just to say I did.
I feel like it, especially if it's a musical, throw it on the list. Let's just watch it, you know?
Funny Lady.
Funny lady. Oh, sorry, my phone. So, she goes on to go to the stage. It's the 8 Beautiful Women of the World or something like that. She's, like, failing miserably at the dance. But she's also, like, the thing about it that kind of... I am not the biggest fan of Fanny. Not gonna lie.
She's a little bit of a diva.
Not only is she a little bit of a diva, but she, okay, like, you don't have to be good at everything. But she was like, it felt like she wasn't even trying, number one.
No, she wasn't. She was trying to stand out.
But, like, in a bad, like, in a only, like, I can only be funny, I'm good at, like, it was like that one kid in class.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're like, I'm gonna make a fart noise. Ew, huh. Like, it was very much, it was giving very much, like, pick me classmate. And I was immediately frustrated with her off the bat for that. I was like, you're not trying. And then she goes into, I'm gonna be a star. I am the star. And then I was like,
I am the greatest star.
I'm the greatest star. Okay, but I was really annoyed by, like, the fact that it was kind of like, I don't have to do this. I don't care. Oh, look at me. Like, that was really not fun. She gets fired. She argues with the guy. She comes back. And then Eddie's like, oh, no, you're a singer. You're not a chorus girl. And so then we get into what we've talked about a bunch of times where, are they singing and people can hear them? Or is this their brain? Mm-hmm. Because he comes out and he goes, oh, hey, you've been singing. So she's just been walking around crazy. Crazy person.
She was not singing in her brain. She was, in fact, singing out.
Right.
Out
Which
loud.
also, like, that is the weirdest thing ever. Like, I'm so mad and you're gonna regret it. Like, could you imagine, like, leaving a job interview and, like, just being on the steps and be like, I'm pissed off. You're gonna wish you hired me.
Well, hey, got her hired again.
Got hired is very loose.
Mm-hmm.
So Eddie, who currently is, like, the stage manager or the piano player, is like, hey, let's do a test run. You know how to roller skate, right? Eddie, you moron. Of course she doesn't know how to roller skate. And then, again, that pisses me off because for the girls who have practiced and do know how to roller skate, you're coming in and steamrolling the whole thing. Like, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan, Fanny. I'm not.
Did you notice that when she was singing, what is that song called? I'd Rather Be Blue Over You, that when she does roller skate, that she actually roller skates well?
I feel like there's a difference between, I will say, in her small, minuscule defense, in her very, very tiny defense, there is a difference in, do you know how to roller skate and do you know how to tap dance on roller skates?
This is very true.
Because
Can you stay standing on roller skates, or can you actually do a full-fledged dance?
I can stand in a roller skate.
I can't.
But,
I can barely walk with bare feet. Don't put wheels on my feet.
And, I mean, those girls were they were tapping the crap out of that song. And so I kind of was like, I mean, I'm going to give you this small, tiniest little inch of... He said, can you roller skate? Not, can you tap dance in the roller skate?
Are you a master roller skater?
Are you? Yeah. It's awful. So she roller skates, messes up the show, but everybody laughs and thinks it's part of it. So then she sings, she steals another girl's solo again, and sings the song. And then everybody laughs. Everybody's like, oh, haha, yay, you know, whatever. She goes backstage. She's waiting to get fired. And then Nikki comes. At first, I was like, ooh, Clark Gable. Then I was like, oh, no, it's Raul Julie. And then I was like, oh, no, it's just this guy named Omar Sharif. Because, again, the DNA is somewhere. And they just... Hollywood baby. Anyway, I digress. He comes in. He's like, hey, I want to take you to dinner with my friends. And she's immediately smitten with him. Immediately smitten.
Ruffle
He gambles. We get our first little red flag. Bing, bing, bing. So the guy comes and he's like, you know, he's mad at her, but he's like, the audience loves you. I'll give you $20 a week. And then she's like, oh, that's crazy. My competitor says I can give you 25. He's like, oh, well, I'll give you 30. He's like, 35. He's like, 40. He's like, 45. He's like, $50 a week. Done. I can't do more than 50. And he's like, $50 a week? Well, he completely gambled that.
Mm-hmm.
And she immediately, I'm proud of her, she immediately called him out on it. And was like, that's my job. Like, you just gambled with my job. What would happen if he said, you know, screw it, bye? He's like, well, you wouldn't have a job.
Sir.
Sir.
My livelihood.
Sir, we just met.
Mm-hmm.
Sir. Oh, okay. So she's super smitten. It jumps forward a couple times. And now she gets hired at Ziegfeld. Again, I always am so confused by the fact that Ziegfeld's real. Ziegfeld was real.
He's real. Ziegfeld Follies, they were real.
And they make movies about people becoming Ziegfeld girls with Ziegfeld, and like, I can't think of an equivalent that we have. But it makes no sense. It's crazy.
Yeah, because they actually, I read in one of the facts, they actually made the stages for the Ziegfeld scenes to match what Ziegfeld's stages looked like.
It's crazy. He was real. Blows my mind. It's also crazy that the stages were the same because I want to know what like I guess we kind of know what a Ziegfeld show looked like. Sort of. If you
Do you remember in Singing in the Rain where all the women were in those like awesome like they're standing still and
like the magazine commercial thing?
That was Ziegfeld.
Okay, not to be a hater, but like, who wants to go see that?
I don't know.
Like,
I mean, they didn't have the movies and stuff that we have today, so that was like, I don't know, fantastical because it was a musical too. Most of the time, that turned into like a whole like array of songs.
I guess so. So Ziegfeld hires her. That's when the telegram comes. Everybody thinks that somebody's died. It's actually a letter from Ziegfeld. She comes in for an audition. He immediately is like, put her in the number. Okay, so her dream is realized. She's gonna be a Ziegfeld girl. She's gonna be like a big part of the Ziegfeld girls. And immediately she's like, no, I don't want to do this song.
I know. That every time that scene comes on, I'm like, shh, 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 hush, Fanny, hush.
And again, it's like, what universe am I supposed to believe that she's ugly or hideous or like whatever? Because she's like, I can't sing about how I'm beautiful.
Did you just use a wicked term?
Huh?
You said hideous.
I don't think it's a wicked term. It's just something that we, like my mom and I say sometimes.
Oh, because they say words like that in Wicked.
They do.
I was like, wait, that was from Wicked. Sorry.
Maybe. No, it's fine. But like it made me mad because I'm like, again, and I think it's particularly this movie. She is so well styled and lit, and her makeup is so like.
God, that cat eye.
Well, like, dude, maybe like I guess they weren't contouring back then, but I'm like, I can contour my nose to look broke. I can contour my cheeks to look swollen. Like, but she looked stunning.
Mm-hmm.
The entire time. And I mean, quite frankly, what world am I supposed to think that Lea Michele's not beautiful? What world am I supposed to think that Beanie Feather, like, what are we, because they're Jewish? I just don't understand that world where.
I don't either.
I just don't. I don't get it at all. But I mean, like, I can't sing that. I'm not beautiful. Okay. So he's like, you're going to sing it or you're out. She, I guess, makes the right decision for the first 5 seconds. And then it does this whole scene where, also, the bride, so it does this whole bride scene.
Mm-hmm.
All the brides are naked. Like,
basically, yeah.
All the brides
jewels
are in bejeweled thong bikinis, basically. Even the winter bride, who something pride. Like, it was the weirdest.
The Autumn Bride with her really low voice is one of my favorites.
Oh my goodness, we didn't even talk about voices. Miss Stakasha's voice when she starts singing and she sings like a little girl. I was like, who in the world? But also, like, every voice in this, like, it was the weirdest combination of like it would be three girls in a line and they'd be talking about they're the spring brides, and one of them would be like, the spring bride, very sexy, very very nice, you know. The spring bride is full of pride and likes it in the rain. And then I like to go outside and pass again.
And I can't stand
And
him.
I can't stand it. It was the most jarring. And then it'd be like, the summer bride. And you're like, man, the summer bride is hot and sweaty. I like to go get in the water and get wetty. Like, it was just the weirdest thing. I was like, you guys couldn't find three girls to sound like.
Is this similar? I'm crying.
You just tighten it up. Just
No.
tighten it up a little bit. That was like.
Whew.
That
was good.
But they're all naked, and it just makes no sense. And then Fanny is, oh, the most beautiful singing bride. She's pregnant.
She's stuffed a pillow.
Stuffed a pillow to become the pregnant bride. Everybody starts losing it. Her mother is the only one. Her mother and Ziegfeld.
Her mother's like, oh god.
Two in the audience that are like, because Ziegfeld knows it's not what this is to look like. Do you think her mother's kind of on my side, where she's like, bro, shut up. Like, stop. Oh, I'm so ugly. Shut up.
Probably, because in the beginning of the film, one of her mother's friends, what's her name? Mrs. Sarkosh?
Yeah, Miss Takash.
Strawcrosh, yeah. Strawcrosh. She's like, she's not pretty. Like, and the mother's like,
I hate her.
What do you mean she's not pretty? Like, so she's probably like, this has Fanny written all over it, that she's totally done this.
Immediately clocked it and was like,
oh yeah,
not true. No.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So her mom and Ziegfeld are upset. Ziegfeld's like running to the curtain to like, I think he's gonna commit murder. Like he's
steaming.
He's steaming.
Mm-hmm.
So she does her whole number as pregnant, and also she doesn't sing it like, you know, I'm a beautiful bride. She's like, I'm a beautiful bride. Like, she plays it so.
Well, and she's like, of my love's affection.
Yeah. She's so campy with it. She basically changes the whole vibe. I love when she pops out at the very beginning, and the girls in the back are, they are shaking, trying to stand still.
You can hear them giggling, too.
Oh, yeah, you can hear them. You can see them, like, almost doubling over. I hope it's real. I hope it's not, like, a stage. Like, okay, now everybody giggle. Like, I want to believe in my heart that it is.
That would be really funny if they didn't tell them, but I don't know.
Yeah. So, did you ever get in trouble as a kid, like, a lot, or no?
Not super often.
As someone who got in trouble a lot as a child, particularly as a pastor's child or a worship leader child, when he grabs her arm and it starts dragging her through the, like, crowded, like, everybody's like, oh my gosh, good job, Fanny. We love you, Fanny. That was great. And he's just dragging her to her room. I had, like, PTSD war flashbacks of, like, my mom being like, when we get home, I'm gonna, like, we're leaving church, and she's like, when I get you to the car, I'm gonna whoop your tail so hard. Like, I had such flashbacks from that. I was like, oh no, she's gonna get a spanking. Like, I know she's grown, but I was like, she's about to get a whooping. Oh no.
It always cracks me up when she's getting reprimanded. When the other dancer walks in, is like, "Did he fire you yet?" And he says, "Not yet." She's like, "Oh shoot, he's still in there."
Did he fire you? Oh.
Yeah.
This movie is really funny. It has some like genuine humor that I think stands up, because sometimes I feel like when they're older movies, you're like, okay, I must have missed something. Well, like, this movie had genuine like humor that like is probably still used to this day. Like, I could see like somebody in New Girl doing that, or somebody in The Office, or like, you know, things like, I know those are, maybe I'm aging myself a little bit too, because those are old things now. But I could see somebody doing that, you know, for sure.
Yeah.
Guess who knocks on the door? Nikki Arnstein. This time he invites her to dinner again. Nikki Arnstein. He invites her to dinner again. She once again can't go. This time she says, you know, well, it's a whole party at my block. You should come. He's like, okay, great. And she's like, oh, like.
He actually said yes this time.
He actually is gonna come. And also Ziegfeld doesn't fire her. He says, I'm thinking about it, but like tomorrow you're gonna do the same thing. And he doesn't end up firing her.
No, she was like, I'll do it straight. And he was like, no, you're gonna do it exactly how you just did it.
Yeah.
Because I hated it, but the crowd loved it.
Yeah. So they go back to the block party. We find out that Nikki is a gambler. That's his profession. He's a swindler.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I am in love. But I feel like if Daniel came up to me and said, I'm gonna start playing poker, I'd be like, no. Or like, you know, like if...
Especially when he tells her, like, I will lose everything but my gambling money and my ruffled shirt. Like, he'll gamble everything else away.
Yeah. And he makes the point of, like, I don't make plans.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to be tied down.
I don't want to be tied down. I don't make plans. I just, like, it's red flag after red flag for me. Like, I understand that man is attractive. I understand that he dresses. He probably smells nice.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing here? I'm not a fan of it at all. Yeah, so they go to the party. We find out he's a gambler. At first, I thought he was going to rip her whole... Like, I thought he was like... I was like, oh, you're sleazy. Mm-hmm. Because he gets invited to his... He gets invited to her, like, family friend's little poker game.
Yeah.
And he ends up with a hand of 2 kings and, like, 4 aces or however. I don't know anything about poker.
I don't either.
He has a really good hand, apparently. And rather than put it down and take their money, he says, oh, man, yeah, I fold. I don't have anything. And then he lets them believe that they have won fair and square.
Mm-hmm.
So for like 2 seconds, I was like, oh, what a gentleman. And then
the joke was, we're just more seasoned than you.
Yeah.
Like, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he is going to leave. In the morning, he breeds horses. He's going to leave. He's going to call her back. Flash forward a year. She is now not just a Ziegfeld girl. She is the Ziegfeld girl. And he has not called her back.
She's pissed.
I was so proud of her in this moment, though, because she sees him on the train station. They're arriving at Baltimore for their show. He's there for some reason. And he's like, oh my God, it's so good to see you. La la la. And she's like, oh, hi, Nick. Oh, like, the way that she responds is just so good. It's so good.
Well, because she says, for once in my life, I didn't say too much and I didn't say too little.
Yeah, she said, I didn't say too much. I didn't say too little.
Mm-hmm.
He invites her to dinner.
She's like, why should I show?
Yeah. He invites her to dinner. She's like, maybe not, whatever. And then she ends up going. Her maid calls her out. It's so funny. She's in her dressing room, or she's in her hotel room, in her, like, dressing gown, nightgown.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I don't know, like, he doesn't deserve me. Do you like this flower in my hair? Oh, he doesn't, whatever. Do you like these earrings? She's, like, putting stuff on versus taking things off. And finally her maid's like, well, if you don't want to go, why are you going? She's like, who said I'm going? She's like, girl.
And then the next scene, she's at the restaurant.
The outfit that she wears.
That purple lavender outfit with that shawl that goes all the way up.
It's so good. It was so much, though, and it made me laugh so hard. Because I was like, yes, ma'am, you better show up and show out. Like, you better.
But it was so pretty. Like, that color really does look good on her. And the lighting that they had on her during that.
Yeah, no, it does. It looks so good. I'm trying to see who did the costuming. I normally look that up, but I, for some reason, did not. Costuming. Barbara Streisand. Irene Sharaff. Costumes by Irene Sharaff.
Has she done anything else that we know?
5. I'm sorry?
Has she done any other movies that we know of?
She has won 5 Academy Awards in costume design for American in Paris, The King and I, Cleopatra, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. She was also nominated for 5 Tony Awards, designing stage and set costumes, or stage and screen costumes for West Side Story, Funny Girl also, on Broadway.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. I love it. Fabulous choice of color. Everything was so good. It was so good. But yes, that color was so good on her. This scene, I mean, made me laugh. She's
planning on making advances.
Yeah. So he has ordered this private dining room. It's got a chaise lounge. And she's like, oh, what's going to happen on that chaise lounge?
Well, you know how you were talking about earlier how you're not sure if she's singing out loud versus singing in her head?
Yes.
This scene, you obviously know that she's singing in her head. Because you can hear her singing, but she's not... Well, except for when he leaves, she actually sings out loud. But, like, in this scene, she's like, it's a fancy dinner. Guess who's going to be dessert? If I don't want to stay and participate, can he sue me? Like...
Yeah, sorry, I'm looking now. I'm on Irene's page, and she did so much. She did Hello, Dolly. She did Porgy and Bess, Guys and Dolls, A Star is Born.
These are all the Broadway productions?
No, I think this is all film.
Okay.
So we've seen her before with Barbara Streisand. And I think we did talk about her before. In our Stars Born episode.
Mm.
I love her.
With the baby's breath in the hair.
Yeah. Never said she was in charge of hair. It just said she was in charge of the costumes. Because that hair is, that one in particular was whack. Anyway, if you want to hear about that debate, go back and listen to the Stars Born episode. And you'll see exactly what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But, so they have a romantic dinner. They do end up, doing some stuff. Some indecent stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, they spend a whole week together, this whole romantic whirlwind in Baltimore. And then this again, I was like, what a con man. What a skis ball. I hate his guy. So she says, oh, I wish you could come to Chicago with us. And he says, oh, I was going to. I decided last night, but now I can't. Don't say that. Don't tell me that.
Mm-hmm.
Just say, oh, me too, baby. But he lost a horse race really bad. So what he's going to go do is he's going to go to New York to get on a boat to Europe to gamble on this cruise, basically.
Yeah. He said the men on this cruise were going to be bored for however many weeks, days, whatever it takes to get to Europe to play poker.
So that is what he's doing. Man, get a job. Get a job. Get a J-O-B job. I don't understand. But it made me so mad that he said that to her. Because I wish that he had just not. I wish he had just said, you know, oh.
After whining and dining her for an entire week.
Yeah. So, at this point, they have known each other for 9 days? Total?
Well, no, over a year because...
No. How much time have they spent together?
Oh, like actually together? Yeah. 9 days. Maybe,
no,
give or take.
I mean, this is a week, so that's 7 days. I'm counting the other 2 encounters as days, quote unquote, but they were not. Maybe the party, because she did say it was 5 o'clock in the morning. So maybe 8 days they've known each other right now.
Mm-hmm. Or spent time together. Yeah.
Or have spent time together. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So she goes to get on her train to go to Chicago. Decides, don't tell me how to live. Just sit and putta.
Don't tell me how to live. Just sit and putta.
Yeah.
Candy in the world's a ball of butter.
Oh, I also, we haven't really talked a whole lot about the songs. We can touch up on that, towards the end or whatever. But there were a lot of songs that I knew that I didn't realize, or, had heard clips of, that I didn't realize came from you. That one obviously is the Funny Girl song. Boom, boom, boom. They did it at the Macy's Day Parade. They do it whenever they talk about the show. Anytime they talk about a revival or who did the show or whatever. This is the scene that they show.
Don't rain on my parade.
Don't rain on my parade. So she decides she's going to get on a train to New York. She's going to leave Ziegfeld high and dry. Get on a train to New York. Get on the boat to go to Nikki.
To get her man. She essentially said she's not going to wait another year for him to just pop out of the blue. She's going to go put fate in her own hands.
I mean...
And go get him.
Yes, queen. I don't... queen? How about that? Queen? Because, part of me is, have a little bit of self-respect, and the other part of me is yeah. Let's go, She misses the boat. She has to get on a tugboat. Somehow the tugboat catches up to the cruise ship. They get to the cruise. I will say that he was forlorningly looking out the window. Mm-hmm. I will give him that. I should have stayed. When she opens the door.
Or we hope that's what he's thinking.
We never know. We never, ever know. Mm-mm. But he was forlorningly, at least in my opinion, he was forlorningly looking out the window. He opens the door, his manservant or the steward opens the door. The door's open. It's her. He gets so excited. They go to dinner. Okay.
She looks disheveled as crap, though, when she opens that door. And the roses he gave her are all beat to heck.
Yeah. Yeah, she looked a little rough. But in the next scene, in the dinner scene, she looks like the same costume from My Fair Lady.
Kinda. Yeah, it's very bejeweled.
Kind of? It looks exactly like it.
Eliza's is more... It's not as bejeweled.
Okay, I'm looking it up now.
Me too.
Okay. Eliza's is more bejeweled. Is that what you were trying to say? Or less?
It's her... Kinda. Eliza's is like, I want to say that Fanny's is more bejeweled because her whole cape is bejeweled. Whereas Eliza has, like, a lot of, like, big jewelry on. I don't know if y'all can see that.
I can't see that. Oh, yeah. She does have a lot of jewelry on. But I feel like without the jewelry...
I feel like this is an Instagram debate.
Yeah. Maybe. I'm going to have to go back to... Oh, nope, there it is. Okay. They're different. It gave me the same vibes.
It does have kind of the same, like, elegance vibes. Like, I've got the ritziest of the ritziest dress that I have on for this dinner.
Oh, yeah. My girl was pulling out... Pew, pew. My girl was dressed down. They gave me the same vibes. They're not the same. The Barbra Streisand does look like something that I have seen. I don't know if it's if it's a royal or if it was just that it was a similar vibe. But I got the My Fair Lady vibes. I will admit that I am wrong. Anyway.
I can see the same vibe.
It's just vibe. That's all it was. It was just like, oh, the headband with the low and the, you know.
Her cape is gorgeous, though.
Yeah. So, they go to this dinner on the cruise, and she's like, hey, why don't you ask me to marry you?
You know, sometimes the guys even say it.
Probably because at this point, he's only known you for a total of 14 days? Like, I don't know. Like, 14, yeah, they are different. I'm seeing that. It is, yeah. For those of you who can't, nobody can see my screen and nobody can read my mind. Emily was sending me the pictures so that I could see them side by side.
Girl, because you gave me the look of, girl, do you not even know one of your favorite movies?
No.
Yes.
They just,
I do.
It was definitely the vibe that I was picking up. I will admit, again, that I am wrong.
Vibes, I completely agree. Yes.
Yes. So, yeah, why don't you marry me? And it's probably because I've only known you for 14 days. But anyway. So he says, we should get married, but not right now. I need to win big. This just... ick. So...
She wants to be a Sadie married lady.
Sadie married lady. Which, you know, okay. So, Sadie is a reference to her mom's friend's daughter who's married to a dentist.
To a dentist. She's got braces.
Yeah.
To a dentist.
To a dentist. So she's married, and she wants to be married too. So she wants to be a respectable woman. Absolutely, sure. He goes to a poker game. She is there. This scene gave me anxiety because he asked her.
It gave her anxiety.
Why are people listening to her? He's like, can you sit there and not make any facial expressions at all? She's like, yeah. And then it cuts to her just being like.
But anytime he looks, she's like.
So he ends up picking her out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And I get, I get part of it. I understand, like, both sides. Again, it felt sleazy, but as soon as she left, the guys took off their jackets. Like, they huffed and puffed a little bit. Like, they relaxed. So, I mean, I get it. Part way, I get it.
They were no longer in the presence of it. Well, because most of the guys that were on there gambling were, like, just wealthy men, not necessarily, like, actual gamblers. So they were, like, distinguished gentlemen. There's a lady in our presence.
Yeah. So she finally leaves. She goes to sleep. She's like, oh, I know you lost all the money. He's like, Sadie, calm down. And she's like, you called me Sadie. So they get married. Everything is fine. It's good. Except for they buy this massive house. Massive house. Mm-hmm. For what reason? Maybe I've just been poor my entire life. Or like middle class.
I think it was just because he was determined to be the breadwinner. And because he won so much money on that cruise, he was just like, I'm the breadwinner. I'm going to give you everything that you want.
Right, but I have never understood people who will buy a massive house for what reason.
No, me either.
You have 2 kids and an eight bedroom house. For what reason?
I don't want to clean that.
First of all, I don't want to clean it either. Second of all, there's not enough. You don't have like, or you're just gonna fill it with crap. And second of all, like, your house poor now. Like you're like, I just don't. I never have understood that ever. That if I won the lottery, I would pay off my house. I would not buy a like. I wouldn't say I wouldn't buy a bigger house, but I would not buy a 8 bedroom, 9 bedroom, 12 bedroom. This bedroom was a mansion. I mean, this thing had 45 billion bedrooms.
Yeah, for the 2 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely be like, okay, an office and a playroom. So, like, 4 bedrooms. 5 bedrooms. Like...
Do you want to know, like, this is off topic, but not really, a little fun fact that not long after I got married, I went to my mom and was like, Sadie, married lady.
Aww.
And she was like, yay.
I love that.
Yeah. It was just a cute little moment, but...
Yeah, so they buy this big house. They end up having a baby. And she goes back to work. And Nikki is supposedly working too, quote unquote. And he's just taking hit after hit, failing after failing. He tries to strike oil. He doesn't strike oil. He's losing bets. He's losing money left and right. The only person who doesn't seem to know is Fanny.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel like she knows. She just doesn't want to, like, acknowledge it. And then, did you notice that, like, when she went back, she kept asking if people thought her daughter was pretty. Like, and she's pretty. Like, she was obsessed with her daughter being pretty.
Oh, yeah. Her daughter had to be pretty. Which, again, Barbara Streisand is beautiful. So, I don't understand.
Right.
So, her mom gives her wonderful advice and says, talk to your freaking husband. Let's talk this out. And Franny does the opposite. And ends up talking to his friend, who then they try to make this deal under the table, and he immediately sees right through it. He sees that her hand is in it. He rejects the deal. He gets very angry. Earlier, he was offered some part of a skeezy deal by a bookie to do bonds.
Mm-hmm.
So he immediately is angry. She tries to talk it out, but it's too late. He's like, you have to go to the theater. You've already done enough. Goodbye. Then he immediately calls the bonds guy and says, hey, I'm in, and gets arrested that night. Or is my timing off?
No, it does kind of seem like it's that night, but I don't know if it's like a couple weeks later or... But it does seem like it's not far into the future if it isn't that night.
He immediately got arrested and was like, cool beans. And they did say we need to take a fall guy. So, or we need a guy. Anyway, he gets sentenced to jail. They want him to plead not guilty. He ends up saying, no, just, I'm guilty. It is what it is. And then
he said he wants Fanny to divorce him, and she was like, I'm going to wait until you're out, because I think they said he was going to do like 18 months or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's the waiting period at the beginning of the movie. She's been waiting 18 months, and he's supposed to come see her that night.
So now we're back at the beginning. She's waiting for him. He arrives. It's really, really sad. They decide to go their separate ways, and that's the end of the movie.
She sings the last song, and you can tell she's upset because she's crying and emotional. And My Man, that's the last song.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your favorite song?
I think the Swan Song and Don't Rain on My Parade are probably my favorite ones. Don't Rain on My Parade, I think, is just iconic, and I knew it before. Mm-hmm. And then the Swan Song was just so funny. Like, it was just so...
Where you gonna shoot the swans?
Yeah.
These lovelies.
These lovelies? Yeah, it just made me laugh. I think that whole scene is really cute. I'm probably gonna show my daughter when she wakes up tomorrow. I didn't know that People was from Funny Girl. People who need people. People are the luckiest. Didn't know that was from there. Didn't know Sadie Sadie was from here. So I mean, there was a couple songs that I was like, oh, okay.
Highlighted on my list, I have I'm the Greatest Star, People, Don't Rain on My Parade, The Swan, and Funny Girl. So for my senior showcase, we were supposed to pick a Broadway show and sing a song from it.
Yeah.
I ended up choosing Popular from Wicked. But for the longest time, I was practicing singing Funny Girl.
Which one?
Funny Girl, like,
oh.
Funny.
Sorry. Yeah. Got it. I was like, yeah.
The guy said,
sure,
honey.
which number? Yeah, sorry.
You're a funny girl. That one. Yeah. But it actually at that time was a little too low of a register, like at the beginning. But like now the older I get, I can like sing less high and sing lower. And so now I can sing that song a little more. But yeah, that was definitely like high on my list to sing that song. But we went with Popular, and that is a whole other story all in itself.
We talked about how they had tried to get Frank Sinatra. They also tried to get Cary Grant.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery?
Can we just take a moment and think about what this movie would look like with Sean Connery?
You're so funny, girl.
Yes. Yeah. You're funny.
You're so funny.
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 Horrible.
My mom loves Sean Connery.
Horrible. Susie, you're okay.
Oh, well, she loves him in like The Hunt for Red October or Indiana Jones and some of his other movies like that. Yeah.
I love him, quite frankly, I love him as 007. So,
yeah, 007, yeah.
I think it's funny that the argument was Sinatra was too old, but we want Cary Grant, who was way older.
They wanted somebody with more class like Cary Grant, who was like 11 years older than Frank Sinatra. I also have that note.
Yeah.
Did you know they also wanted Marlon Brando, Gregory Peck, and James Gardner?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But they always wanted Barbara.
Yep, just Babs.
Yeah, just Babs. There was a war that broke out in Israel and Egypt, and they were going to replace Omar, but they all threatened to quit.
Yeah.
Tarzan was like, I'm out then. See you later.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Did you know the director, William Wyler, also directed movies such as Roman Holiday and Ben-Hur?
I love Roman Holiday. I haven't seen Ben-Hur.
I haven't either, but I've heard of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think everybody's heard of Ben-Hur.
My biggest fun fact, though, that I was like, what? Is Mae Questel, who played Miss Strakosch. I think that's how you say it. The one with the married daughter.
The hater.
She is the voice of Betty Boop in Olive Oil. And she also plays Aunt Bethany in Christmas Vacation.
That is super fun.
I had no clue. I was like, I knew she sounded familiar.
Like that. Like, immediately she was like, oh, you want to know. I was like, what? Okay.
Yep, she's Betty Boop and Olive Oil and Aunt Bethany.
Well, I'll be. That's like finding out that girl was from oh my God, what movie was it? The 5, 6, 7, 8.
Chorus Line.
From Chorus Line.
How are you not still traumatized from watching that movie?
I blocked it. I even blocked it. I blocked the name.
I'm traumatized.
Finding out that she was Miss Darbus. What else?
Yeah.
Crime and punishment. That movie
What are
has
those
come
two
up
doing in a tree?
so much in like the past week and a half that I think it's time for a rewatch.
Uh, oh,
Yeah,
but yeah.
I mean, I like this movie. I think it's fun. I would definitely let my daughter watch it. I say this is like an 8 to 10 for me. It's pretty good. I don't have a nostalgia to it, so that's why
Mm-hmm.
it's so quote unquote low. Is that like, yeah, it's good, it's fun, but like like whereas like My Fair Lady is like oh like Sound of Music is like oh like certain things are up so high for me like
Mm-hmm.
I'd say this
This
is a
is
solid 8.
this is definitely up there for me. Which I mean, you guys know, My Fair Lady, Sound of Music, The Wizard of Oz. Those are all like, you can't beat those. But yeah, this one's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah. It's super fun. I'm kind of happy that it didn't end on a happy note.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes it's
Kind of
really
melancholy. Like she kind of knew it
yeah.
was coming, but she's still sad at the same time.
It's definitely refreshing sometimes to be like, yeah,
That's life.
yeah, sure. Like
Mm-hmm.
and also I mean like he kind of sucked and like you kind of suck. So like yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate this movie though. I think it's interesting that this became such a cultural significance. Like they added it to the list of like 100 most important movies. Like it's
It's
super
preserved.
culturally, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's super culturally significant now. Which is really interesting because it doesn't have any political take
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. Like, I mean, yes, they are Jewish.
It's definitely timeless.
Yeah. So I mean that maybe that, but it always is interesting when I see that they like specifically like they're like this has been added to the cultural America #1. Like, well, I'm like whoa, but why? Like, okay, like I need to know what that means. So I always think it's interesting when movies get added to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was added to that in I believe it said it was 2016. Yep.
Surprised not sooner.
Culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. The Library of Congress selected it for the preservation and the National Film Registry.
As it should be. Where it belongs.
Where it belongs. Selection criteria. Let's see what that says. A film becomes eligible for inclusion 10 years after original release. The first selection in 1989, the public nominated almost 1,000 films for consideration. The ballots were stipulated to the list of 25 films. Since 1997, they've been able to nominate up to 50 films a year. Oh, okay. Some movies include 2001 Space Odyssey, 12 Years a Slave is super recent. That's a 2013 movie. The Adventures of Robin Hood, 1938. All the King's Men, American Graffiti, Angels with Dirty Faces, Bambi. Okay. Ben-Hur, there's there. Beverly Hills Cop, The Big Lebowski. This is I am on a tangent. I'm sorry. What in the Boys in the Hood? What in the world? Brokeback Mountain. A Christmas Story, Citizen Kane, obviously. Clerks, Clockwork. I'm gonna have to look at this on my own time. This is crazy. This is wild. Some of these are so like, I don't understand. What would qualify something.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to look at this is now my new hyperfixation.
You're gonna have to look at like criteria of what gets things
Oh
added.
yeah, Mary Poppins, Slay. Yes, please.
Yes.
Michael Jackson's Thriller, the music video. What?
Not even a movie.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. Jingle, jingle. Rein it back in. Okay. It was added to the list. That's all. I want to know what the criteria is. I'm going to look into that research. I might come back next time. We are going to try to continue to have next times.
Of course. Like, what are we watching next time?
Let's find out.
Let's see. Here. Let me pull it up.
Daniel really wants us to watch a certain movie, but I told him, I was like, we're just going to watch it when it comes up. It's going to be okay.
Come on. He's thinking about it. Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Oh, fun!
I've never seen it.
That is that the Julia?
It's Sutton Foster, isn't it?
Well, she is in the revival, or she starred on in one of the revival.
It did not have a date on it, so whatever one is fine.
67 Julia Andrews.
Okay. I love Julie Andrews.
I do too. I was double checking that I was correct. 1967 musical comedy Thoroughly Modern Millie, starring Julia Andrews. Yay!
What does Daniel want us to watch?
He wants us to watch Bahubali, but he wants to watch Bahubali, so that's why I'm like, we will just watch Bahubali again. It's fine. I said I was like, we're gonna come when we come across it. We'll come across it because it's on the list.
I'm gonna have to figure out ways to watch this one.
Oh, is it not on anything?
I'm looking now. You can rent or buy on Amazon.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, awesome. Then we will.
Thoroughly Modern Millie. Yep, I've never seen. I have heard some of the songs because they pop up on like the Broadway radio and stuff like that, but I've never seen it.
Forget about the boy, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
that one.
I know things.
I feel like there's another one that I've also heard.
Well, I am genuinely excited then.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it. I mean, I heard all the. I'm pretty sure that is where you're thinking about Sutton Foster, and we will obviously do our research, and we will obviously whatever. Off the cuff, I'm pretty sure Sutton Foster was a swing for Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Mm-hmm.
And something happened, and so she had to go be Millie one night. And then everybody was like, holy crap, this girl is killing it. Like, we're going to make it. So that's how she, like, that was her, like, breakout role, I believe.
Oh, okay. I can see that because she did, she starred in, what's the other one? Oh my gosh.
The one with the cruise ship?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It's on our list.
Oh, crap. I just went to go see this with Samantha and Brianna. Foster.
I feel like it's on the wall behind me.
Anything goes.
Yes, thank you. I was like, I feel like it's back here somewhere.
It's here, I swear.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yep, anything goes. Where she tapped for 9 minutes straight.
And it has Sutton Foster on the front.
Oh my god. All we had to do was turn around.
It's right there.
It's right there.
And she was also in Shrek.
Oh, love Shrek. Shrek, I still to this day, like, you know, I love my wedding. My wedding was great. My wedding was beautiful. My marriage is lovely and beautiful. But to this day, I regret not being like, hey, Daniel, we should have the When Words Fail song be our whatever. Because I was like, there's no way that he's going to let Shrek the musical song. And he's like, and of course, you know, he's saying, of course I would. But like, I'm like, what'd you have? So, but now I'm like, I should have pushed.
Should have put your foot down.
Should have put my foot down. Anyway. Love Shrek the musical. That's all I have to say.
What is the song where they're all like, and we're on a tangent now, guys, sorry, but The song where all of them are in, like, just got to the swamp.
Just got to the swamp.
Like, it's all of the magical creatures.
Oh, not Freak Flag. Life is but a mama's in the breast, mama's in the shirt.
Yeah.
For poor Pinocchio, story of my life, always doomed to fail.
Thank you. That came on the Broadway radio one day, and Nick was like, "What the heck is this?" And I was like, "It's from Shrek the Musical." And he's like, "That sounds like a fun time." And I was like, "If it were still on Netflix, I would make you watch it."
It comes up every so often. It pops up somewhere, and I'm like, grab it. We need to watch it.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's on our list too. I'm pretty sure.
Yep. Hopefully it'll be somewhere. I mean, that's the only bad thing about all these different services and stuff is sometimes things aren't available, and it sucks.
Yep.
Anyway, if you would like to contact us, feel free to contact us at oneofourfaves@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Any requests, concerns, disagreements, whatever. We would love to hear from you.
Yes.
And our Instagram will be back up and running, we promise.
Yeah, we'll post some pictures on there, especially like our favorite outfits, what we were talking about with her boat outfit, and the vibes that it shared with My Fair Lady outfit. Yeah.
So we will be continuing and reposting to Instagram. Thank you for hanging out with us, and thank you for hanging in there with us, because we sometimes just, stuff happens, life happens, and this is just for fun. We're not making any money off of it. I think like maybe 12 people listen to it, so like, it is what it is.
Love you guys. Love the 12 people that do.
Yeah. Absolutely. No hate to 12 people do. You guys are the real MVPs. My point being, we're doing this for fun. We're doing this because we love it. So,
yep.
If we disappear, bear with us. We'll be back. But thank you for joining us for season 2, episode 1.
And we'll be back soon, hopefully.
Soon.
Yeah.
Soon. To go watch Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. Much love. Talk to you.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.